And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. I'm not cognitively. And you know what? When I am, you're going to know it. You're going to be the first people. I know my people. You'll say, all right, Trump, you did a good job. Get the hell out of here. That's it.
That is a man who is incapable of avoiding criminal liability, a man who is wholly unfit for office, and a man who, at the very least, ought to think twice before accusing others of cognitive decline.
You don't have to look very far to find evidence of Trump's cognitive decline. From making up words,
A smaller version, but it's even more bekakt.
to an inability to pronounce them.
$1.2 trillion for their fake infrastructure.
Yeah, dare you to say that 10 times fast. Actually, don't do that. You'll probably give yourself an aneurysm. And we've known Trump as a lunatic for quite some time, right?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
And obviously an asshole too. But with everything going on recently, from Trump falling asleep in court,
Sometimes he is sleeping. I know there's this huge sleeping debate, but
Yes, the great debate of our time.
right.
Is
So
he
the most
sleeping?
important thing of the trial, and I mean that in no way. But sometimes he is sleeping. That is 100% true. I've seen it. People around him have confirmed to me that he has been sleeping at times that we have said he is.
probably because the thought of jail time keeps him up at night, to Trump losing control of his bowels.
And I'm hearing it from actual credible people that as he's kind of falling asleep, he is actually passing gas, and that his lawyers are really struggling with the smell.
To his continued and worsening detachment from reality.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bull. I mean, that the claims of fraud were bull. I thought, boy, if he really believes this stuff, he has, lost contact with he's become detached from reality.
When I left, it was 2.6%. We had no inflation. Everything was so good.
Right, when you left office in January of 2021, a month when 80,000 Americans died from COVID and the Capitol was getting raided, everything was good. That's like saying, hey, the car's got no brakes, but at least it still goes fast. It has become crystal clear that when Trump talks about Sleepy Joe or makes fun of Biden's age and cognitive ability, that he is participating in some serious projection. Because regardless of what you think of Joe Biden, the truth is that even comparatively, Trump's mental state is in a far worse condition, which we'll see excellently exemplified in a new Lincoln Project ad I have for you later in this video. And thankfully, recently, the media has finally been coming to terms with these facts and are clearly turning against Trump for the same reasons Trump would have his supporters believe that Biden is not fit for office.
Now, Sleepy Joe would say the unemployment. Oh, Sleepy Joe.
Can we just acknowledge how refreshing it is to see a president of the United States at an event that doesn't begin with a bailiff saying, "All rise"? And I would like to point out, it's after 10 p.m. Sleepy Joe is still awake, while Donald Trump has spent the past week falling asleep in court every morning. Though Fox News said he was just being anti-woke.
Right. And we can make gaffes about Trump's idiocy and mental state all day. Like, for instance, in this clip,
We're joined today by Shanna Gray, who owns a vegan restaurant, supposed to be really good. I'm not into the vegan stuff. Try that vegan food. I don't know if I'm going to like it.
I could say, kind of ironic that a man who is nearly a vegetable can't pronounce the word vegan. Let's also not forget how much of a psychopath Donald Trump already was, even when he had proper cognitive ability.
40 Wall Street is the building that Donald Trump proudly proclaimed on 9/11 suddenly became the tallest building in Lower Manhattan immediately after the World Trade Center towers collapsed after a terrorist attack.
40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
That's what was actually happening. What was on the screen was what was actually happening while Donald Trump was saying that.
Yeah, Trump told us he spent 9/11 pulling people from the rubble. He said he was there as he watched the planes crash into the buildings, but the reality is he spent 9/11 on a radio show bragging about how he now had the tallest building in Lower Manhattan. Not only is that kind of behavior disgusting, but it's downright dangerous in a man with significant enough cognitive decline to not only confuse Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, but to do so while lying about his actions during one of the most dangerous events in recent American history.
Trump facing criticism and questions regarding his mental fitness after comments at a rally this weekend where he mixed up his Republican rival Nikki Haley and the former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi when discussing January 6th.
Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
First of all, he has a cognitive disorder. It wasn't that he just had a slip of the tongue of using a name one time for another. Anybody can do that. But he was making a case. But really more dangerous than getting us mixed up, more dangerous was his charge that we were not accepting his troops. We begged him for hours and hours.
These are more than just innocuous slip-ups. These are dangerous lies from a mentally unhinged and dangerous man.
I was aware of how dangerous Donald Trump was. I studied under a world expert in an obscure diagnosis called malignant narcissism, which was actually designed to explain Hitler by Erich Fromm. So when I realized that there was a candidate who met all the criteria, it was like an asteroid heading towards Earth.
And comparisons to Hitler and an asteroid headed towards the Earth are the types of things you wouldn't want said about any human being, but especially the guy that half the country seems to want to give access to the nuclear codes again. And that cannot be looked upon lightly. Just because Biden won once does not mean we're in the clear. And it certainly doesn't mean that we can gaslight ourselves into thinking Biden and Trump's mental states are at all comparable.
You know, after Biden won the election, we all took off our uniforms and went home. But what drove me back was this false narrative, seeing that the media was gaslighting the public, saying that Biden was doddering or demented and Trump was somehow robust and okay. And they were gaslighting us. It was a double lie. First, they were pathologizing the normal signs of aging in Biden, like forgetting names, which I do as well as a senior citizen, and pathologizing the flagrant signs of dementia that Trump was showing, you know, not knowing whether he's running against Nancy Pelosi or Nikki Haley. I mean, these are serious demented errors. Erich Fromm, is a very famous psychoanalyst, is one of the founders of humanistic psychology, escaped Hitler. And ironically, he's known for saying that man is basically good in his psychology, but he was obsessed with describing what he called the quintessence of evil, which is a particular personality type that he seriously retrofitted around Hitler to explain that kind of monstrous leader. And it has four components. One, of course, is narcissism.
Number one, has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements.
I've done more in 500 days than any president has ever done in their first 500 days.
Number two, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, etc.
I'm smarter than they are. I'm richer than they are.
Three, believes that he or she is special and unique.
Let me tell you, the one that matters is me. I'm the only one that matters.
The other is paranoia. You know, all of his, conspiracy theories and his feeling that he's constantly being persecuted, and that justifies his harming other people.
There's no victim except me. I'm the victim here. There's no victim. There's no victim whatsoever. This is just a witch hunt.
And then psychopathy, being antisocial, lying, stealing, exploiting people, violating their rights. Okay, and then finally the fourth, and this is a very important, sadism. Taking pleasure in harming people, demeaning people, destroying people, and taking pleasure in destroying institutions. And, that there's a kind of omnipotent, destructive orgy of pleasure that comes from this perverse personality. So I could see that he had, and he's very hypomanically driven too. So he has all this energy to direct in these negative ways. So I could see that he was a mortal threat.
Donald Trump is a mortal threat to himself, to his supporters, to every American and America as a whole. And a man as deranged and demented as that was never fit to serve in the first place, but surely is not now. And as promised, to drive this whole point all the way home, here is the culmination of all Trump's moral and mental dementia boiled down into one 60-second ad.
Trump just isn't the same. You're noticing it now, aren't you? You can see it. He's old, sleepy, confused, weak.
His jaw kept falling on his chest and his mouth kept going slack.
He's not the same man. His energy is gone. No one can deny it.
And Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word. You heard that, nuclear.
You're learning he cares about himself, not us.
Sioux Falls, thank you very much, Sioux Falls.
We've all had parents who we loved, but who changed over the years. Needed help, needed understanding, needed care.
Including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and
With Trump, it's happening so fast. We can all see it. Now you do too.
Thank you for watching, folks. I know it wasn't as humorous as other videos, but if you liked the video and if you agree about the importance of getting this message out about Trump, please do us a favor and drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps spread the word and drive the point home about how even though we can make fun of him till the cows come home, the man is dangerous and needs to be stopped at all costs. If you'd like to help us in further combating his insanity, you can donate over on our Patreon page so we can continue to cover stories like these and bring you more compelling and informative content going into this very important election and beyond. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.